Hey there, it's Kat and this is Brews and Reviews. Hey go you! I have collected a cat because he was walking past and I grabbed him. So I've collected him. Right? That's how this works, isn't it? And then I let him go when he eventually says no. Like that. He just really wants my gin. No. No gin for you. Anyway, so today I'm going to be filming the drunk book tag. I'm a little bit drunk. Okay, I'm a lot bit drunk because I'm a lightweight and I don't really drink very much. But I decided, since I don't actually need to be anywhere tonight because, you know, lockdown and all that sort of thing, that I would have a drink in the privacy of my own home. Drink responsibly, everyone, if you are drinking at all and if you are of age to drink in wherever you live. Yeah, so I'm definitely drunk right now. I've been drinking the St. Clement's Gin Liqueur, which is like a lemon flavoured gin liqueur, and it's really, really good, and I'm really enjoying it. But, yeah, so I'm drunk now. I'm sure you can tell by, like, you know, the whole thing that's going on here, and I'm gonna do the drunk book tag, and I haven't prepared for this in the slightest, even though I thought maybe I'll have a drink tonight, maybe I'll film the drunk book tag. Well, I haven't prepared for it, so you're gonna get the real, honest, drunk me answers. Yes. Before I get started, this tag was created by Pages and Pens and Chelsea Darling Reads, and I'll leave their links down below so you can, you know, find the original of this tag. And, yeah, let's go through the questions because I don't know how long my attention span will hold while I'm like this. Question number 1. Wine coolers. You're 16 and you finally managed to sneak one of your mum's Smirnoff Ices. What is one of your most guilty pleasure reads? Okay, number 1. So Smirnoff Ice was something that my mum used to drink when she put it in the freezer and made it freeze, so it was like a slush Smirnoff Ice, and that was one of the first alcoholic drinks I had because I was like, that's so cool, you made it into a slushie. Anyway, back to the question, a guilty pleasure read. So, I hate to say it, right, but Twilight is kind of one of my favourite guilty pleasure reads because, like, I know it's shit. Like, I know it's shit, but, like, sometimes I catch myself and I'm like, but what if I read Twilight again? Because, like, the nostalgia and the feels that I had for it are still there, and, like, what if I read it again? Who knows, you know? It could be better. I know it's not going to be better, but, like, it still activates, like, a nostalgic thing in me that I just really enjoy. So, yeah, I hate to say it, but it is definitely a guilty pleasure for me. So I feel like it's an appropriate answer for this question, even though, like, God, it's Twilight, I know. That's terrible, I know. Question number 2. You've made it to college and you're hosting your first kegger. Pick your favourite new adult or college age book. So this is hard because I don't really read contemporary books, so college age books are difficult. Hi, Coops. Hi. Okay, so I just had a look at my shelves for probably an inordinate amount of time, and I couldn't find any that are either new adult or college age. I think I just tend to read adult or YA. So does Akamath count as new adult? Because if it does, then I'll count it as new adult. And look, here's my cat again. I've captured the cat again, so he's here. Does Akamath count? I haven't read it yet. Does it count? I don't know. I feel like I don't have an answer for this one, so maybe I'll take a drink for every answer that I don't have, and that will fuck me up, I guess. Yay. Question number 3. Tequila. You partied too hard last night and drank a little too much Jose Cuervo? Is that a tequila? Basically, the only time I've had tequila was the time I dressed up as the plant from Mario and, like, vomited over it, like, my own shoes. So, don't drink tequila. Anyway, what's a book that you never want to see again, or your least favourite book? Okay, right, so I do have an answer for this one, most definitely, because, like, my least favourite things stick with me, and my least favourite book is Winter Song. I can't remember who it's by, but Winter Song. I just really hated this book because the premise of it was sold to me as if it was going to be a labyrinth retelling, and it just wasn't. Like, I hated the main character. She was really just nasty. What are you eating? I hated the main character. She just had a really, like, nasty personality, and she did, like, horrible things, but she had no redeeming qualities, and it was really difficult to get behind her. It was just pointless. Like, I don't really remember that book because I blocked it out of my mind because I hated it so much. It was so disappointing to me, and I just really, really wanted a labyrinth retelling that was gonna, like, knock my socks off, and it really didn't. I was so disappointed. So I feel like this sits atop my, like, pile of least favourite books. Even though, like, I do a whole series of, like, complaints with cats videos, at least those have had the sort of benefit of amusing me in some sort of way. Whereas this one, it just really fucked me off. Like, I was really annoyed with it. So, yeah, that's what Winter Song did. Question number 4, Beer Bong. What's a book that you read super fast? Okay, so this one I'm gonna go with Sweet Pea by C.J. Scoose, because I read that in a very quick time when I was on holiday. I read a lot of books when I'm on a holiday really quickly, but I really remember reading that one quickly because I just really loved the tone of voice of the narrator. I don't know, it's weird to say that that was a really, really investing book. And I can't wait to read the sequel because the first book was such an interesting time. Yeah, so I read that one really quickly, really enjoyed it. Question number 5, Spring Break. You've thrown your inhibitions to the wind and end up having a sexy night you'll never forget. What is your favourite smutty read? Okay, so most of the books that I read that are smutty are questionable. They're questionable to say the least. So, okay, 1 second. I'm gonna go with In Too Deep by Portia da Costa, and that is a book about a librarian that gets some sort of sexy notes left in her comments box, and I don't know why, I just really like that book. I don't know that it was particularly well written or anything like that. It's just the scenario that it was. It just sort of kind of was sort of nice, I guess. It was more about, like, supportive people being supportive of each other as the book developed. Like, it felt like a healthy relationship, whereas a lot of the smutty books that I read have sort of an unhealthy sexual relationship that sort of bugs me and I had, like, a lot of problems with. Whereas I didn't really have a problem with the relationship that developed in Too Deep. I thought that, like, both characters were sort of healthily developing each other, and, like, I'm all for that. So I guess In Too Deep by Portia da Costa. Question number 6. What's the most twisted book you've ever read? I don't know. This is terrible. I don't know. What is the most twisted book I've ever read? Red Dragon? Is it Red Dragon? I feel like it's Red Dragon. Maybe The Unit. Okay, so after consulting my bookshelves, by which I mean, you know, looking at them in a wild panic trying to find a book, I have decided that in a thriller context, it's probably Red Dragon by Thomas Harris, which is the first Hannibal Lecter book, because I remember it being kind of gross. I remember it being kind of book that you just, it just made me go a bit gross. So that book is, you know, not ideal. But if we're going twisted, I feel like the book that I really want to answer with is The Unit by Nini Holmquist, and that is because that book is about when you turn a certain age and you basically have to go to this place called The Unit, and then you're, like, medically experimented on for the betterment of society. And it's really twisted because you follow this woman who goes there and she finds this man that she loves, and she, like, has a whole thing that happens, and it's just really horrible because you see all these people that she gets to know and they are being experimented on and they slowly start dying. But, like, that's good for society, but, like, obviously it's horrible and terrible to see. And it just feels really twisted to me, but it's also really interesting to read. Question number 7. Long Island Iced Tea. The melting pot of alcoholic beverages. What is one of your favourite diverse reads? I think for this one I'm going to go with Nixia by Scott Rankin, and I think that's because, I don't know, it just feels really natural because it makes sense that all of these characters from all over the world who speak different languages and all of that sort of thing are being brought together for this sort of competition-based space exploration, which I just didn't do justice at all. I never do this book justice. I feel like this book is such a good book and I never ever do it justice. I feel like more people should read Nixia and like the Nixia trilogy. Like, please do, because it's such a good series. So the main character, Emmett, is a black character. His roommate is a Japanese girl. There's various other characters from completely different places all around the world, and some of them are sexually diverse, and you know what? I just really, really love that series, and I feel like more people should read it. So please, if you enjoy competition books and you enjoy like sci-fi and YA teen exploration, then you'll probably like Nixia, so check it out. Oh dear, I've dropped it! Question number 8. Sex on the Beach. A drink that's great in theory, but wasn't exactly all it was cracked up to be. What is a book that didn't live up to the hype? Oh, okay. Right, I have the answer for this one because it's a recent read for me. So for this one, I'm going to go with Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare. And I'm sorry, I know it. So many of you enjoy this, and I really, really wanted to enjoy it, but I didn't. Like, I didn't. I've had a lot of people that agreed with me about Lady Midnight, so I don't feel necessarily too bad about this one, but I know so many people thought that Lady Midnight and The Dark Artifices were the best of Cassandra Clare's work, and maybe I just didn't really connect with it, but I think the teen angst really got to me. I wanted the nice relationships, and I wanted the murder mystery plotline, but I found that there was too much of the oh, but I could be involved with my parabatai sort of thing that was happening, and I just didn't care. And there was the whole Mark came back and sort of trauma backstory that I just didn't really connect with. So I read like a quarter of the book and I just couldn't get into it. So it wasn't what everyone said it was going to be, and I was a bit disappointed with it. It is just one of those things, though. That book is... Yeah, I wish I'd enjoyed it, but I didn't. Question number 9. Wine. You've just gone through a rough breakup, so you park yourself in bed with your favourite bottle of wine, some ice cream, and a bucket of your tears. Name a book that made you cry out all of your feels. What book made me cry? So many books made me cry. Okay, wait. Which book made me cry so much? If we're going with total honesty, then the book that makes me cry every single time I read it is Legend by David Gemmell. And I can't tell you why because it's a spoiler, but every single time I cry. Last time I reread this book, I was listening to it on audiobook, and I was listening to it at work, and I cried at my desk. And, like, at the time I wasn't in the position I was in, so I was, like, in the, like, it was before I got promoted. But I was listening to it, and I just started crying, and I was like, I really hope my senior doesn't notice that I'm crying right now, because this is fucking embarrassing. So yeah, Legend by David Gemmell, my favourite book of all time, makes me cry every single time I read it, and I don't think it will ever stop making me cry because of the things that happen. I'm not going to tell you what, because it's a massive spoiler. But just every time it gets to me, and like I feel like David Gemmell has that thing. So maybe I should change my answer and be like every David Gemmell book ever, because I feel like they all sort of get to me. Like King Beyond the Gate, the ending to that just rips out my heart and throws it on the floor and then stomps on it. And then like Waylander, I just really like Waylander. Okay, but the end of Waylander 2 fucking kills me. Like, if you've seen my Knights of Dark Renown review, then I feel like it's basically just a 10-minute review of me crying on camera. So, basically any David Gemmell book is the answer to this question. Question number 10. Strip Club. What's the sexiest naked book? Okay, right. So, like, I don't buy hardbacks very much because I don't like hardbacks. Hardbacks are not for me. They are for people with bigger hands than these because I have tiny little child hands with tiny little child sausage fingers. So I don't buy hardbacks that very often. So is this question basically just what's my most attractive book? Because all of my hardbacks that I have are just unattractive sort of black hardbacks with the name of the book on it. So I don't really feel like this is a fair statement. So I'm going to go with what's my most attractive book. Okay, so I feel like I have a three-way tie here. So it's going to either go to The Raven Boys, as in like that whole quadrilogy, because I feel like they're just really attractive covers, and I feel like they'd make me pick them up if I hadn't even heard of them as I have on BookTube. Also, Mistborn, that whole trilogy, I really, really enjoy the cover art for that. And the other one that I want to talk about is the Gutter Prayer by Gareth Hanrahan. The cover art on that is just so pretty and like Mistborn levels of pretty. So yeah, I feel like that's my three-way tie on sexy covers, which we're gonna go with instead of sexy naked covers because I don't really have any of those. Okay, so that's that. I'm drunk. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one when I'm sober. Bye!